Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Backfire Simsport TV. I'm Clyde Whiting, and tonight we bring you round 2 of the BSTV GT4 TCR Challenge, live from the wonderful Watkins Glen Boot Circuit. In the booth with me tonight is Mr. Pete Bingham. Good evening.
Good evening, everybody.
And doing all the magic in the background is Mr. Sam Boozin. Good evening, Sam.
Good evening, all.
So, Pete, we had a fantastic race last time out, where we had Andrew Hopley take the win in the GT4 class and Roberto Ferrari the win in the TCR class. We're at another classic track tonight, a track that's got a bit of everything. What are you expecting from tonight?
Well, Watkins Glen is synonymous with having many places that you can crash. especially in the V8. Climbing the hill, the first few turns, the bus stop, the carousel, the turn that Michael's going around at the minute, and then not the next 2 turns, but the one that leads onto the short straight towards the very, very fast left-hander, are all places where if you get your line wrong, if you're on the gas too soon, if you're too heavy on the gas, it will spin up and spit you out. So we could be in for some serious excitement in those sort of terms. Watkins Glen is great for a drafting track, and these cars are heavily influenced by that, so it's going to be a very competitive race. I can't see anybody checking out this time. I really can't. I think this is going to be door-to-door stuff all the way through.
And the boot circuit is my personal favourite. I think the bus stop, I know a lot of people don't like it, but I think it brings something to the race, and it's another overtaking opportunity if you're bold. Sometimes we see overtakes into the bus stop that are a bit too bold, but yeah, you know, at the moment we believe the BMW is a little bit faster in a straight line, so you know we're looking at the top 7 places in quali so far are BMWs. Do you think this is, you know, it's got everything for a circuit for a BMW win, Pete?
I'm going to go with possibly. And the reason I'm saying that is because I was out racing this format last night. And for all that the BMW pulls away on the very fast straight on the back, the Porsche has the handling to get round the boot section a lot faster, and it is a significant amount faster. And also, if you're in the Porsche and you can get yourself stuck inside that slipstream behind a BMW, you are absolutely laughing your back off, because it just draws you down the road and you just annihilate them. So I think this track is an even balance. I think there's other tracks where the BMW has got the advantage, but because of the twisting nature of the back end of this track through the boot, not going to comment on that one. With Jamie, but it kind of balances the 2 cars up. It really does.
Yeah, we've got an interesting comment on the YouTube chat from Mago. Good evening, Mago. And he says it will be interesting how fast the front tyres of the M4 will melt in the S's. So, you know, bear in mind it's an hour-long race. Are these M4 drivers going to have to, look after their tyres and try and double stint them because we do force a pit stop, or are they going to take tyres at the pit stop? You know, that could change everything.
I think that the BMW drivers may well suffer at both ends of the car. So going around the carousel, your car ploughs. There's a lot of corners, particularly the uphill one at the toe of the boot, where you get quite a lot of wheel spin. And I think with the dynamics of that BMW being front engine and rear wheel drive, I think you've got a chance of doing both of those. So tyre management for the BMWs is going to be critical. I think you get round a safer lap, in inverted commas, in the Porsche.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, I was just going to say, to call me a liar, Andy Perks has popped himself into 3rd place in a Porsche, but Simon Field has just taken that away from him. So
yeah, you've got to look at how many of each car as well. We've got, is it 5 Porsches?
Yeah, we are predominantly BMW in the GT4 class.
Yeah, we need more Porsches, people.
Yeah. So TCR class. So we had Mr. Ferrari take away the win last week, and as yet it doesn't look like he's here. So that gives the other guys a chance. Now, Carl Hardy, I know, has been practicing hard all week, putting up various practice sessions, people. And then, you know, Scott Malcolm had a bit of a rough ride last week, but he's up there in 5th place. So the TCR battle is going to be fascinating, Pete.
It's going to be very, very close, I think. This car handles really well around here. The front wheel drive suits Watkins Glen, whereas some other tracks it really doesn't. It doesn't feel like the car's labouring around here. You can go around a few corners absolutely flat out, which is always a benefit in a front wheel drive car. Otherwise you're kind of spinning and getting that massive understeer that you sometimes feel in front wheel drive. They're going to get done obviously by the GT4s, but I think that their internal competitive race is going to be very close. Again, TCRs drafting each other. It's hard to get away, so your skill really is getting around the tight section of the boot.
Yeah, so we've got one penalty to tell you about. So our Mr. Double R had a bit of a infraction. The stewards looked at it and they've given him a pit lane start for this round. So we'll be looking for him as he tries to get his way through the TCR field and then up into the GT4s. So that could be something worth looking at.
Definitely, and obviously he needs to be careful getting through those TCRs, because when he meets them, they're going to be all bunched up together. And I ended up getting written off last night in the bus stop by somebody who parked their car across the track in front of me, and making my way through the TCRs was a bit of a minefield, to be honest. They take very different lines. You don't realise it until you're tailing them and you're trying to overtake them. Because they are front wheel drive, their car behaves a lot differently. They don't take the standard line through corners, so he's going to have to be careful.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously another battle to watch is David Ayres and Carl Hardy. They both work together for, I think it's Result Clothing. So whoever wins out of them two gets bragging rights for a week. David beat Carl last week. We'll just remind Carl of that for when he's watching the broadcast back. So hopefully David gave him plenty of grief last week and he can go on and do it again. But I've got a friend who I used to work with. He's retired now, and it was real good fun racing with somebody that you work with. So you end up then talking about it for the whole week until the next time you race together.
Until you wipe each other out, and then Monday morning's a bit of a risky time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, David's got to pull his socks up here, because at the minute he's 1 point something seconds behind Carl, and is at 6 places, I think it is. So he's got a bit of work to do.
Yeah.
At the front of the GT field, Michael Gray is a good 1 point. No, he's not. He's 0.6 of a second, which is an eternity in a GT4 car, really, when you think about it. Ahead of Andrew Hopley, who's quite handy, because we saw that last time out.
Yeah, and obviously those two finished first and second last week, but obviously in the reverse order of what they are at the moment. So Michael will be looking to have a good race and claw some of those points back on Andrew.
Yeah, definitely. And he's obviously done a lot of practice, Michael, as Andrew Hopley probably has. I was in a session in Brands Hatch with Andrew Hopley, so he obviously races the official as well as doing this. Obviously, that's the whole point of this, isn't it? It's practice on both sides of the fence. You get your bragging rights in here, and you get your official IR in the main series, in the official series. Sorry. So yeah, he's going to want to claw those points back. We've got a few other people in there. Jamie Jeffrey, he's new. He's in a very stylish car. Which team does he drive for?
Oh, I can't remember, mate. Can't remember.
It's a nice car, nice livery. Is it us? All right.
Yeah.
Hey, all right then, that's good. And then Rob Lundgren was the fastest in practice, wasn't he? Or he was quite high up. He was
very up there, yeah. Obviously, Rob missed the race last week.
Right. Yes, he did. Yeah, sorry, because he was in the other league that we raced for a couple of races, wasn't he? As well. That's where I've got confused there. So yeah, this is going to be quite a tight race in the midfield, I think. And at the front, as long as Michael Gray doesn't get the opportunity to check out, I didn't realise that the gap was that high at the front, and it is quite significant, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Half a second does look massive on the score sheet or the timing pile. with Watkins Glen, it can be the difference between getting a decent tow and not getting a decent tow. So I think in the race, I agree with you, Pete, as much as I don't like to. But I think these cars are going to be going round in bunches. So, you'll get the top 5 or 6 breakaway with a second gap to another gaggle of cars, and then a second gap to another gaggle of cars. And it's very, very difficult round here to actually pull away from anybody because you're just pulling them with you.
Yes, yeah. There's too many big straights. I think the session's gone checkered. So these guys will finish off their final qualifying laps. You usually find that people abandon their lap if they're not going to build on it. We can definitely say that Michael Gray, Andrew Hopley, and Craig Cameron, the top 3 here, have done their bit, because I don't think they're out on track at the moment.
Yeah, I can see Craig Cameron's in the pits. So as the time just ticks down.
Yeah, Kevin Viamont just improved his time quite a lot, actually, and moved himself up to 3rd in the TCRs, in the Audis. Few Audis finishing out. There's not many GT4s still circulating. Double R went out and set a really good time, even though he's going to start from pit lane.
Yeah, I think that is going to be interesting to watch him come through, and obviously he needs to keep it as clean as possible because he doesn't want to get the wrath of the stewards again.
No. And XVR have cars in both Porsche and in BMW. It's funny, I thought Old Man O'Connor would turn up for this because he actually races GT4.
Yeah, he's probably having a nana nap.
Yeah. Bit of Horlicks.
Yeah. He's tucked up under a blanket with Bill somewhere.
Yeah, Uncle Bill couldn't join us tonight. He's redesigning some sort of Microsoft installation.
Yeah, Back to the Future.
Yeah. Tell you what, if he gets the PC that he's given the spec for, it's going to make mine look like one of those things you buy for a 4-year-old.
Well, if he doesn't get it done soon, I'll start winding him up that I'll finish it off for him in February.
Yeah. So we're watching Kip Stevens running out his final attempt at qualifying.
Yeah, Kip is not very far up the leaderboard this week.
He's not. He was on the bottom of it for quite a long time.
Yeah.
That suggests that he's had no practice.
Yeah, Kip could be arrive and drive today.
Yeah.
Nice to see Steve Richardson in as well. He didn't make it last week.
So are we doing the grid?
Let's run down the grid as quick as we possibly can. So in the GT4s, we've got Michael Gray on pole, followed by Andrew Hopley, Craig Cameron, Simon Field, Andy Perks, Tom Stanley, Stuart Dick, Double R, nearly said his proper name then, Robert Lundgren, Jamie Jeffrey, Josh Rayfield, Matt Gibson. Then we've got Rob Venn, James Underhill, Anthony Woodward, Sven Delick, Kip Stevens, Steve Richardson, Simon Chester, and Andy Richards.
And in TCR, leading the field will be Chris Shaw, Carl Hardy, then Kevin Viamont, Frank, go on, give me a hand. Bosch. Yeah, we'll have that. Dirk Oxus. Then we've got Scott Malcolm, Arjun Kramer, David Ayres, Charles Kellyman, Dale Bennison, Ralph Cullinan, and Roger Morton will round out the TCR field. We've got quite a lot already gridded, and we will be shortly waiting for the lights once we get the stragglers onto the track. We'll have to wait for the full countdown, which is a full 2 minutes with a countdown, because Double R is going to be starting from pit lane.
He certainly is. And it looks like we've got a standing start tonight.
Is that intentional?
No. But I'll claim it if it works.
So funny. Oh dear.
So as we wait for the lights. Engine revs start to rise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights, and we're green.
Oh, somebody didn't go. I don't know who that. I don't know who that was, but they didn't move off the grid. That's caused a bit of a bottleneck further back. Turn 1's always a bit of a gamble. There's usually somebody that runs ridiculously wide, although everybody seems to be really well behaved.
Yeah,
so well done, everyone.
We did see that last week as well, didn't we?
We did, yeah, it was good.
Very, very good standard of driving. So Michael Gray got away well in the GT4s, and Chris Shaw got away well in the TCRs.
Yeah, ignore your timing tower, it's going mad again. Yep, he's not got away like properly. He's got the first top two have pulled out a little bit of a gap on Craig Cameron. I can't even see the split between the two fields at the minute, but everybody's round reasonably safely.
Yeah, just watching everybody go through the bus stop, and everybody got through there okay.
Yep. So heading towards the toe of the boot. Oh, we've got someone turned sideways. Andy Perks.
Andy Perks sideways there.
That's not a great place, and somebody's into the wall. Two people are into the wall.
And everybody managed to avoid him.
They avoided him, but some people ended up pranging the wall. It does quite a lot of damage to these cars.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if Andy dropped it on his own on cold tyres, or whether he had some help.
Yeah. So we go through the left-hand corner of death there.
Here we go. Here's the replay of Andy. So he's got, I think that's Tom Stanley behind him. No, he's just dropped it on his own.
The embarrassing slow slide of shame. So yeah, there's a couple of people. That bit, yeah, we didn't see the full end of that, but there was a couple of people ding the wall. What I've learned in this car is, no matter how little damage you get, hit your car and do the damage, get the damage repaired.
That spin that Andy had, it's awful, isn't it? There's absolutely nothing you can do about it.
No, you're just a passenger thinking, oh, I wish I was facing the other way.
But I think everybody did well to avoid it. That could have been a lot worse.
Well, looks like Jamie's getting a bit flashy lighty behind. Are we still calling him left turn?
Yeah, left turn Lundgren.
He's chosen a good line there, mind.
Yeah, you can defend. You know, it's a track you can defend on.
Definitely.
It's not actually that easy to overtake around here.
No, you'd overtake.
We found that out in the V8. Unless you get a really good run out of the S's and down the back straight.
Yeah, like Double R just did.
Yeah, so he's slowly making his way there through the fields.
Yeah. If I was in that, well, the Porsche didn't actually get hit, did it? It just slid slowly around.
Yeah.
It's the other cars that hit the wall that have got to worry about whether they pit or not. And in my experience, you pit this car, too many things can affect your driving, and you find that you end up crashing again later on if you don't. And then it could make it worse.
Yeah, we're watching Simon Field, who's putting some pressure on Craig Cameron for third.
He is, and then there's a gaggle of Audis coming up the hill here.
I thought I just see somebody go off.
Yeah.
I think that's Steve Richardson.
It is. He's doing a lot of gardening, and he's not going very fast, so...
Yeah.
I don't know what... Is he just trying to rejoin safely? I don't know.
Just as we flicked away, I just caught something. Yeah, he's just lost it on the exit. Yeah.
That one is so easy to do. And that's what I was saying about the car over-rotating on that on a number of turns on this track. You've got to be very careful what you do. It's such an exciting and rewarding track when you get it all right.
But yeah, it certainly is. Yeah, and it's one of those tracks that makes you push harder than you should, because you think you can carry so much speed through a corner, and you sort of get a third of the way into it, and you're like, oh no.
And when I first joined iRacing as a racing service, one of our other teammates, Gary Craig, was racing some ridiculously fast car around here. And I remember thinking as I watched him go up the S's that there's no way on earth I'm going to be able to race this track. And of course you can. And then it becomes exciting, and then you want to do it. You want to do it better and faster, etc. But you're right. You want to push all the way around the lap because you think you can get time through the carousel. You can't. The carousel, you're a passenger, and you just go through it at one speed, and you make all your time up on all the other corners rather than the carousel. The carousel can kill you really quickly. But you learn these things over time, don't you?
You certainly do. You certainly do. We've lost Andy Perks, so I don't know if he had another issue.
Well, he didn't actually take any damage, did he?
No.
So that's interesting. And disappointing for Andy, obviously, and for the race in general. The more people we get, the better.
Yeah, Double R is now halfway through the TCR field.
Yep.
So
Simon Chester's following him.
Yes.
Oh, there's a bit of communication error going on there. I think the TCR tried to let Double R through. I don't know who the TCR is. Who was that? Was that Malcolm? Scott Malcolm,
That's
sorry.
Scott Malcolm, yeah.
I'm doing really good today, aren't I? At people with two first names for first name and surname and getting them the wrong way around.
Names are your speciality.
That, honestly. It's a good job it's not for my living.
So that's Jamie Jeffrey and left turn again.
Yeah, so Jamie's caught up with him again now. And if we can get this deal done. Left turn's doing the defensive line again, which is he's more than within his right to do.
Yeah. That's probably
Oh, but he's compromised. And so is Jamie now because he's gone too wide there. And he's on the ground.
He's going to lose another place.
He is, and that's what Watkins Glen does. You get greedy, like you were saying before. You want to push, and you can't.
All of the corners here, just I don't know. When you're in the car, the corners seem a lot wider than they actually are.
Yeah, absolutely. And this one that we're approaching now tightens up horrendously. So you go into it and you think, I've missed the apex here. And as long as you don't get on the gas, you find the apex naturally. And then you power out of it. So, I like this track. I think it's really good.
Good evening to Marco on the chat. Marco races with us in the V8s on Friday nights.
Oh, is that Marco Lowert?
Yep.
All right, hello Marco. Why aren't you racing this? Is the question I'm asking.
So Rob Venn was the Porsche that got past Jamie Jeffrey. Jamie disappeared looks, then.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a connectivity issue, hasn't he? I'd love to say that I've never had one of them.
Are you sharing your connection with Jamie?
yeah, he's not gone full Bingham just yet. Which is a phrase coined by Jamie Wilson. Oh, that's a big door bang. That'll be interesting to see from a far chase perspective.
That looked like he just turned in a bit early to me.
Yep, I'd agree with that.
There.
Here we go. Yeah. Code, maybe?
Possibly. I can't see that Rob Venn did anything wrong.
No, me neither. Bit over enthusiastic from Jamie, and you can't really go around the outside at turn 1 here. It's a long journey round the outside at that corner, and I think you're always going to get done. So out front, Michael Gray, still with Andrew Hopley close in his tracks, and this goes and like you, I don't like agreeing with you, like you don't like agreeing with me, but it's hard to get away, isn't it?
It is. I said it before, it's just one of them tracks that, you know, even if you are faster than the car behind you, you drag them with you.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to shake.
Robert Venn.
Was that? Yeah, what happened there?
He's got over rotation like the last car we saw do
that was exactly the same as the Steve Richardson incident.
And honestly, that turn is synonymous with that. It's so easy to do. And then you've got to do a very embarrassing 4,000 point turn in order to get back on the track safely. And an Audi going rather wide at that apex. You'd probably need binoculars to see that one. Was that Kevin Viamont? Yes, it was. He's going to send a postcard to the apex.
Yeah, well, that is first and second in TCR.
It is, and that's a close field. I mean, look at that. You can throw a blanket over all of them. You can throw a handkerchief over all of them.
But that is the exciting part of racing, isn't it? It's these sort of battles. They're the battles that I enjoy, and you know, you'd love to have battles like this for first place, but with my talent level, his car's pitting already.
Did you see that right hand?
It was very close, wasn't it? Yeah, like I was saying, you know, you would like to have battles like that for first place, but with my talent level, it's usually for 21st place. But
yeah,
you know, that is great. That's the way that, you know, that you like things. So that's David Ayres in the pits. Now,
I salute you for that ridiculous.
Has he had an incident?
I don't think so.
That's very early to pit.
It is.
Although admittedly,
it might be ready or something.
Yeah,
or it might be on a promise.
Admittedly, we haven't had any inside information about how long the fuel is going to last.
Is this a replay of Ant Woodward or not?
Well, we've just had a comment from Tony Kloosterman that we're 10 minutes into the race and Ant Woodward hasn't crashed yet.
There's no like your team boss for taking the neck out of you, is there?
And that was Simon Field cutting the grass there.
Yeah. Flymo Field, is that what we're calling him now?
So what happened with... Oh,
Frank
he did have an incident. He did have an incident.
Oh.
Oh, no, that was Frank.
Yeah, Frank T-Bush. That's what I'm going with, anyway.
Oh, I thought that was David Ayres that pitted.
It was. David Ayres did the ridiculous right-hand turn.
Yeah.
Which, for now, he will always be now known as right-hand turn Ayres.
So I wonder if Carl has threatened David with death if he beats him again.
Yeah, maybe.
And David has bottled out and took a pit stop. Just to make sure.
Yeah. Yeah, you're never going to make it to the end if you pit now, are you?
I wouldn't have thought so, but again, I've got no fuel data at ever.
Well, not
at ever, whatever.
Yeah, I haven't got anything on the TCR. I've driven it a couple of times and not raced it properly yet. That's very close racing, isn't it?
Again, that's first and second in the TCRs.
It's ferocious. I tell you what, when you end up in a GT4 behind the Audi field, and you catch them, and you're like, why are they all still together with 20 laps in? How can this happen? It's brilliant. I mean, I don't know how they managed to balance the cars out, but
yeah, and that's double R. There, obviously the last two TCRs he's got to get past.
He's going to have to be very, very careful because he'll make himself a legend for all the wrong reasons if he takes out the lead too.
Yeah, it certainly will.
And by legend, I mean infamous.
Yeah, he should just leave it till the front straight or the back straight.
I would think so.
He should be able to sail straight past them, unless...
well, this is Kevin Viamont in front of Chris Shaw.
Yeah,
so
Chris managed to pull something out and blocks the track. It's and in double R's position, you just, you know, come on guys, sort yourself out, out.
And he keeps saying it for a couple of laps.
yeah. And hit that flashy light button. I'm here, I'm coming through.
Just in case you've forgotten about me. Oh, here we go. I'm talking about this one here. Yeah. Oh, that's a wide line.
That's Tom Stanley again.
Right.
I think that was Stuart Dick going past him.
Yeah, he's got quite a gap on him already. So has Craig Cameron got an issue?
So double R couldn't get it done on the front straight.
And he's quite far behind this on the approach now, although the GT4 is really quite a lot faster up here.
He's close enough.
Yeah.
Definitely close enough. He might even have to back out a little bit. Oh, he's in a sandwich. Oh, well done, well done.
He's done all right there. He should clear them by the time the bus stop arrives.
Yeah. And hope he can get it stopped, which he can.
Yep, good effort.
And something I've noticed from doing the official series is TCRs seem to be able to brake so much later than the GT4s, and you clear a car and you just look in your mirror and you're like, shit, he's going to crash into me.
Yeah, he's climbing all over you.
They're just straight back at you, aren't they? Until you get another straight and you can pull away again.
Yeah. He'll be okay once he gets around this corner, if he gets around it, and then gets a little bit of a straight. So what we're watching here, Dale Bennison. Well, it's just a gaggle of cars, isn't it? This is what we were talking about. We're going to get pods of activity.
Yeah, and I think Result Racing need to change a few of their liveries as well, because there's far too many of them.
There's just millions of them. It's like an invasion. These guys will all, pull themselves towards the next car up front. And when you get competitive racing like this, they'll slow each other down and force themselves back towards the group behind them.
Yeah, so this little battle is Dale Bennison, Ralph Cullinan, who's just joined, and Ian Kramer. Obviously, the Result boys there are battling it out, and Ian's trying to get past the pair of them.
Wow, there's an overtake for the lead. And Andrew Hopley is having a go. He's on the wrong side of that car, though, unless... Oh, what are you doing? Oh, hello. Yeah, that keeps you awake, doesn't it?
And then, as we said before the race, there's an opportunity there to overtake, but you've got to be bold. And I think Andrew Hopley was very bold there.
Yeah, and he was good.
Yeah.
In terms of excitement value, that was right up there.
In Michael's position, and I'm not saying, I don't mean you should, drive into people, but you've got that decision to make. Then you either turn in, knowing that there's going to be contact, and one of you or both of you are going to end in tears, or you do exactly what Michael did there, and what people should do, and go, all right, yeah, you got me there. I'll come back at you later.
Yeah. So you remember my statement at the beginning, which was the Porsches will be good down the backstretch, and it'll be a fairly even race for the BMWs. Yeah, I think I need to respectfully resign. So the first Porsche is in 11th. So that's me. I'm quitting now. So bye.
So we got Rob Lundgren and Anthony Woodward here. Now, I believe. Was that a pass by Ant?
I think it was.
He was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Sat behind him a minute ago.
Yeah.
Here we go again for the lead
battle again.
Lead of the GTs, of course.
These two could be going at it for the next 42 minutes.
And we've not had the pit stop round yet. So
no, not yet.
In the V8s, we've seen that pitting early gets you an advantage. Do we think that that's also the case here, or are they not going to take tyres?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. So last week, I think the majority, if not all of the drivers, stayed out on the same tyres. So that undercut is obviously taken away. Now, the comments we've had on the front tyres on the BMW, and, how they can possibly get mashed going through the S's, is that going to give the advantage back to the Porsche? Are the BMW drivers going to take tyres and the Porsche drivers not?
Well, we've only
that's all to be seen.
Yeah, we've only got two Porsche drivers in the top, well, in a competitive position. So we've got Kip Stevens in 11, and Jamie Jeffrey in 13. So they need to get their wriggle on up here. I think it will come to them, but I think they're too far behind now. 12 seconds is a long way to make up, isn't it?
Yeah, but, how long does it take to change tyres?
Oh, that was close.
That was close, yeah. That was Simon Field and Craig Cameron?
I think so. Craig Cameron, of course, gridded 3 or 3rd, even in English. So he's not doing so well at the minute compared to his grid position.
Yeah, and Simon Field was challenging for the 3rd step on the podium earlier on, till he had his little grass cutting exercise. So he's trying to get back up there now. Yeah,
Stuart Dick has managed to pull 4 positions since the start of this race, and Ant Woodward, well, the time's ticking on when he crashes, but he's pulled 8 places from his starting position. Other movers and shakers are Kip Stevens, who's got 6 positions. And
okay, so sorry, Pete. Michael Gray's just taken the lead back from Andrew Hopley with a move into the bus stop. Looked a lot tidier that time.
Yeah. You get it done when you can, though, don't you?
I certainly do. It is one of them tracks, and you get the opportunity, you have to go for it.
Yeah, because you're not going to get 2 opportunities generally. I think these guys will. They'll be at this for a long time. I wholly expect them to probably pit on the same lap, because can you imagine being the car behind and doing the next lap with no toe?
Yeah.
You'd want to maintain it, wouldn't you? Oh, what? Are we tyre warming or what?
I said it last week. I say it in nearly every broadcast we do. I always want to be that guy that does it different. I want to do something different to the guy in front of me that I'm battling with.
But if different puts you into dead air, you've lost a potential advantage, haven't you?
Yeah, but the person, if the guy in front pits and you don't, yes, you've lost that draft, but then have they got a draft when they come back out of the pits? So it could even its way out there.
Yeah, and you've got to, well, I don't know how you would do it sat in the car with no spotter, but if you pit either early or late and you end up in this bunch, you've then got a load of overtaking slower cars to do, haven't you?
Yeah, toe or no toe, it's still going to slow you down.
Yes.
So, a bit surprised these guys at the front have actually pulled out such a commanding gap over everybody else.
I think they've been line astern. Yeah, they've been line astern since Kevin Viemont took over the lead of the TCRs, and Chris Shaw is purposefully staying behind him. I have noticed that, but if nothing else, even if I'm completely oblivious to everything else going on, Chris Shaw is staying behind him on purpose. So again, with the massive tow that you get on this track, Chris could be just saving fuel and shortening that pit stop. Yeah, and tyres as well, because he can go through corners in a more relaxed fashion and not scrub his tyres, and know that he can pull back up to the back of the car in front on the straights. And he is definitely happy sitting behind, because he had the perfect opportunity there. Yep, he showed his nose a little, as if to say, yeah, I'm still here. Hopefully there's no flashing of lights, because you know what I feel about that. Should be banned. You're such a wuss. So this is turning into a good battle here. Yeah, well, it is a good battle, and we've got a mix of cars here. Jamie Jeffries zoning in and out. And just as we say that, we've got a closer battle in the TCRs, which is Dale Bennison chasing Arjen Kramer, I think. Which is interesting, because Arjen was behind Dale and Ralph, wasn't he, last time we looked at this battle? Right. He was chasing the 2 result clothing cars. Gotcha. So he's managed to get past them. So is that Jamie Jeffrey? And he's not actually in that battle. I think he is. No, he's not in the TCR battle. He's in the other one. No, this one that we're watching now. Tom Stanley, Simon Field, Craig Cameron, and Stuart Dick leading all of them. And who is that flashing the lights? That's Jamie Jeffrey. Team boss is going to have a word with him about. He is not in this battle. No. He is a long way behind them, from what I can see. Something a bit weird. Right, so Andrew Hopley has gone back to the lead again in the GT4s. Yep, missed that one. I must have blinked. This is going to go on and on and on. definitely. And really, this goes down to who's going to knock their tyres earliest. And look at these three pushing each other around this corner. Oh, tyre on the grass.
And good evening to Mike Frost and Wayne Sanderson on the chat. Nice to have you with us, guys.
Thanks for viewing. Mike Frost would rather you put the 3 after the GT than the 4, I think.
So, Sven de Ligt, I love saying that now,
Yeah.
is sending messages that Jamie Jeffrey's car is blinking because of his internet connection whilst driving.
Yeah, that's that. You've got to salute that.
That's a talent.
That's better than a talent. I mean, either he's got some voice command or something going on.
Or his wife sat next to him. Type this.
Yeah, that could be it. Who's sat in the pits at the minute, or is that the sound of the pace car?
I think that was the pace car.
Right, okay. Here we go. We're he's under his bumper again here. Michael's lining Andrew back up and fitting him for a second position.
Yeah, it's going into the bus stop every lap, isn't it? You can just see the toe.
Yeah. He didn't do it that time. He didn't quite have the beans to get going. And they're not that far ahead of the rest of the field, are they? I mean, look at that. They're only half the bus stop behind.
Half a bus stop or 3 seconds.
Or 3 seconds, yeah. I didn't look at the times.
I think the good thing about that battle up front between Andrew and Michael is they now trust each other into that bus stop. So if one makes a move, I think the other one gives it.
Yeah. And that's what you have to do, isn't it? It's all about having the momentum. And all right, yeah, blocking gets you so far. There's an invisible car overtaking that. Or not overtaking it. Yep.
He's engaged his Vulcan cloak.
Yeah. Oh, that's defensive. Oh, that's good. He's just teleported in front. And defensive driving again.
Yeah, he certainly made the pass on James Underhill, but I think, you're sitting in James's car, that is awful to have a car flashing in and out in front of you. You don't know where they are. And yeah, sometimes you just sort of move out of the way and go on, just go, because you're going to crash the pair of us.
Yep. I know all about that, unfortunately. So back in the midfield of the TCRs.
Yeah, that's Ian and Dale Benison again, still at it. We are 28 minutes into this race, so I would have expected people to hit before now, but perhaps they're stretching it out a bit.
Well, you probably want to run your tank about as dry as you can go in this car before you pit, because otherwise you've got weight on scrubbed tyres, and you don't want that, really.
That's very, very true. Very true.
It just means that your car ploughs more than it would do normally, especially the TCR. You don't want to overfuel that, because it's reliant upon its front tyres, absolutely.
And another welcome on the chat, Chris Jackson. Congratulations to Chris and his wife Mary and his son Logan. They've just had another new member of the Jackson family, little Gabriella, that was born the other day. So well done, and I'm surprised you're up, Chris. So things must be going all right.
Yep, congratulations.
So this is a great battle. These have been together
the whole race.
They have, definitely. And that's keeping Craig Cameron in touch with them as well.
Yeah, and don't forget, he's obviously got a lot of talent and a lot of speed because he gridded third, so he can pull out those lap times. It's a different equation when you're in the race, though.
Yeah, it certainly is. And I've not really raced much against Stuart and Tom and Craig, but spent many years racing with Simon, and Simon's one of those people that can jump in any car and be quick. He might not always be first, second, or third, but he's always up there in the top 10 in whatever he jumps in.
Yeah, I've raced with him before. I just don't remember what in. It'll be with the race that you've been in.
It will be one of the pit lane series, I would have thought.
It will be, won't it? Yeah. That's going back a bit.
Certainly is. Simon lives just down the coast from me.
Has he got reduced genetic material as well?
I would have thought so.
Right, okay. Why is Kevin Viamont in dark grey? Oh, we got TCR pitting at the minute.
We have. Kevin
Have we?
in
Right.
the pits.
Yeah.
And there's a few been in and come out.
Right, okay. Chris Shaw's still way up there though, isn't he?
Chris Shaw is currently in first place, and he looks like he hasn't pitted, so that'll be interesting when he does pit.
Yeah, we've seen
where he comes out with Kevin.
Yeah, we've seen from the V8s that pitting early gives you an advantage, but that involves a tyre change, and I'm not sure that we're going to be taking tyres here.
Yeah, definitely not the TCRs. I'm just worried about the BMWs.
Right. And we've not seen any of them on a scheduled stop yet.
No, and you know, this is here, Simon Field. If those two stay out, go in the pits.
Yeah.
If they pit, stay out. So that's Carl Hardy, who is currently in third place in the TCRs, chasing Dirk Oxas.
Yeah.
I'm sure Dirk will put us right on that one. Could be a silent K, could be Osas.
Why not a silent KSAS, and then we can just call him Dirk O.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Dirk O.
Whoa,
that's close.
Yeah, that was a bump.
That was good,
bump, wasn't it?
It was, and he's now lost his momentum down the start-finish
Yeah.
straight and given up the position.
Yeah, that's Scott Malcolm in the Team Mad car.
Yeah.
BMW coming out of the pits.
Yeah, coming out of the pits.
That's Sven Delict.
And he's going to be unlucky there because he's come out behind. Well, he might not be. If he can get the toe going through the S's, depending on whether he can change tyres.
May go straight past him. I would be a little bit worried going into the bus stop on cold tyres.
Yeah, and it depends whether they have changed tyres or not.
No, he did well there. He slotted in between them.
Yeah, one at a time, son. One at a time.
Carl helped him out, to be fair.
Yeah. I mean, look at that. The TCR's fast around that corner. That must mean that they've taken tyres on that BMW.
Well, I'm sure we'll find out at the end of the race.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it'll be a case of some have, some haven't. But he's all over him, isn't he, at the moment?
He's crawling all over him. And that's what we were talking about before. The TCR seems to just keep going. It's like a Duracell car. And the GT4s, they do suffer under cold tyres and they suffer under worn tyres. So you've got like a sweet spot for a few laps in the middle.
Yeah, and they need that straight, don't they, to stretch their legs and get the gap.
Yeah. Oh, there's all sorts going on here. Look at this.
So that's Simon Field.
Yeah. Chasing down Tom Stanley. He's right on him here.
There's a braking point there somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know how he saw that. I have terrible visibility with this car.
So we haven't had a change in the lead in the GT4s for a few laps, even though they're still very close together.
Yeah. They are literally on the same bit of tarmac, so Andrew Hopley's still leading, although... sorry, I stopped talking
Chris
then.
Shaw has been in the pits as well.
All right.
So there's Hopley and Gray again.
I didn't think Chris Shaw had been in.
I think he's just pitted.
Ah, right.
I could be wrong.
No, I didn't think he had.
Is he not pitted?
No, he's still going. He's doing 159s, I think, and everybody else is lapping faster than him. So here we go, Michael Gray. You don't want to be on that line going through that corner. So he's backed up. And they're going round again.
Blinks.
The three behind still haven't pitted either. So that's Stuart Dick, Tom Stanley and Simon Field. And you can see them in the distance. There's not that much of a lead here, is there really? Dirk Oxas is, or Dirk O, sorry, is asking Kevin Viamont why, but we don't know what.
We don't know why.
Yeah, we don't know. That's funny. So here we go again. Michael Gray and Andrew Hopley. Now they're catching the pitted cars that have just left pit lane.
They are, aren't they? Yes.
Yeah. So this is going to get a bit ding dong. Could have said that in a Vic and Bob way, couldn't I? Ding dong.
Ding dong.
Oh dear.
Another good evening on the chat to Stacey, who's joined us as well. And I believe that could be Andy Perks on the chat as well. Parked his car early. So what happened, Andy?
I reckon he got called for dinner.
Yeah, or he needed a poo.
Yeah. You've done that before.
Oh, yeah. Especially Indy 500, I did that.
Oh, yeah. That's an epic one, isn't it, though?
Yeah.
You get caught out in the middle of that, you've just got to go. So here's Handkerchief 3. They've been so close you could lob a handkerchief over all three of them the entire race up to this point. They're going to want a pit stop just so that they can see somebody else.
They're not that far.
They're right behind the leaders, really.
Look at that. Kramer, what's he done?
He's on his own, whatever it is.
He's
it's the slow spin.
Oh, that was like a double slow spin. Right,
Yep.
Now what happens?
400-point turn. Oh, he
Get
got
out of the way.
What are you doing?
No. Oh.
Oh dear, longest replay ever.
No.
Oh.
Well, his
He's
car
obviously done
doesn't
it.
look damaged, so he must have got away with it eventually.
Oh dear, that was stunning. Oh dear.
So this is Ant Woodward.
Yeah, he's getting a bit of attention.
Stevens, yeah.
Started quite far back, to be honest. Get up there with that Porsche, Kip, come on. Jamie Jeffries flashing in and out somewhere behind him, about 8 seconds back down the road.
So Kip's looking up the inside, yeah, thought better of it.
Yeah. Yeah, Jamie's getting a bit more attention about his blinking from Stuart Dick back down the road a bit.
Yeah, and message on the chat from Stacey. I'm sorry, we can't show Jamie because his internet connection is so bad he keeps disappearing, so there'd be nothing to look at.
Here's a piece of track. Here's a bit of scenery. Yeah, that's a nice line from Kip Stevens there, to be fair. Getting that drive onto this little short straight is quite critical, actually. You can carry a lot of speed through there, so getting a good run-up can sometimes be an advantage. He did pull up a little, but not quite enough.
Yeah, the course just hasn't got the legs, has it?
No, once you put your wheels in a straight line, the BMW's definitely got. It's got the pull out of the corner as well, which is critical. That is double R. That's double R overtaking his own field, his own class. So he's finally caught up with the back of the field.
He has, hasn't he? Yeah, yeah.
I mean, good effort. He must have been in a different postcode when he started.
A message to Julian Jeffrey, who is Jamie's dad, who I know quite well. Pay the internet bill, mate, will you? Get Jamie sorted out. Such a tight git.
So these three are really going at it, and this is David Ayres. Is that with Kevin? Hang on, I need to figure out who's who here.
That is Malcolm, and is that Dirk O?
Dirk O and David Ayres.
Yeah, so don't forget, David Ayres pitted really, really early.
Yeah, and I still don't know what that was about. And it's a strange tactic, and Carl Hardy is his nemesis. We'll put that in inverted commas. Is away down the road, really.
Yeah,
Chris Shaw still has not pitted.
Bragging rights are switching this week by the looks of it.
Definitely. Yeah, Chris Shaw is in 4th place overall at the moment. So he's 3rd place, sorry, as Kip Stevens pits. I think. No, maybe not.
Oh.
My timing tower's just had an
mine's a bit weird. I don't think Hopley and Gray have pitted either.
No, I think they've been distracted by the battle that they're having. This is split up a little here, hasn't it? So Stuart and Tom Stanley pulled away from Simon a bit. Oh, he's a bit wide there, that's why.
Maybe them front tyres are starting to mush.
Sam's swearing at us, telling us to click this.
What?
check your chat.
Oh yeah, he's trying to tell us what to do. Just ignore him, he'll go away.
Fine, yeah.
Yeah, we know what we're doing.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make you do your work better, guys. So by telling you how to show
it's
yourself
much
the pit
more
stop.
fun making it up as you go along.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, all the viewers have more information about the pit stop than you have, so.
Oh dear. It speaks, Clyde.
Yeah. We'll have to remember to mute him next week.
Yeah. So, right. Michael Gray must have pitted. He must have done.
And the best bit is I can't even find that button, so...
Michael Gray has definitely pitted. He's nowhere near Andrew Hopley.
Yeah. According to the timing screen, he's 20... Yeah, he's behind Kip now.
Yeah. So unless he's had a moment... But if he'd pitted, he'd be behind Stuart, Tom and Simon, because they weren't that far behind. So he's had a moment. Or the fastest pit stop in the West.
Let's see if I can see it on the event viewer.
Yeah. You know what you're doing with that. Double R trying to go around the outside at the carousel and making it stick. That's brave. Bill, shush is all I can say. Go back to fixing your PC. I won't say what he's just said because I can't.
We're getting grief from Bill again, are we?
Yeah, well, yes.
Right.
Oh dear, door banging, nearly. That was brave. Sam's trying to egg Bill on the chat. What's going on here? Right. I don't know what to talk about next. I think Michael Gray. Who's Matthew Gray? Is he new?
He's Michael's brother.
Andrew Hopley has now pitted and is leaving pit lane. Kip Stevens has not, I don't think. I really don't know anymore. Michael Gray is in 3rd still.
So what happened to Michael Gray?
I don't know. He's not got a pit registration next to his name.
No. If only our cameraman could do his job properly.
Yeah. Oh, these two have...
yeah, they're going in together.
Here we go, what's this?
So that's Andrew Hopley has got past Kip.
No, that's Matthew. So is this a replay? That's Michael.
Oh, it's Michael.
It's Michael. Oh, dear.
Right. Let's see what happens. Not
There's
a lot
the
so
behind
far.
them. And then...
Didn't see anything there, if I'm honest.
What are you looking for, guys?
We're trying to find out why Michael dropped so far behind Andrew, but then he's back again.
They've pitted.
I think that was a timing tower thing.
They have pitted. That's it.
But it's not showing a pit lap on Michael Gray.
They have both pitted. Andrew did pit the last lap, and Michael did pit a few laps ago.
Right, we'll put Kip Stevens on the screen, will you? Because we're going to show a Porsche leading the lap. There we go. Hey, it's a Porsche leading. I knew I'd be right.
So Michael Gray did pit on lap 21 and Andrew Hopley on lap 22.
22, yeah. I've not got a recorded pit stop for Michael Gray on my tower.
Yeah. And it looks like, obviously, Kip's leading at the moment.
And these three have been pitted and come out fighting the same positions.
Yeah. And the gap between Andrew and Michael is now back to where it should be, which is like 0.3 of a second.
There we go.
The world is sorted out.
The world is back to normal. So as long as Kip Stevens doesn't need to pit, he'll win this race.
The Earth is not flat after all.
Isn't it?
Well, not until you fall off the edge.
Yeah.
So we've got Steve Richardson, who we see have an accident earlier.
Ah, that's a shame.
Oh.
Come back, Steve.
Evening Lane, he's woken up from his nana nap.
Oh yeah, right, okay. Horlicks has worn off. So we're just on overtakes. Tom Stanley's given best to Simon Field. And this is a gaggle, look at this.
This is the David Ayres battle, isn't it?
Is he going into the pits or is he fighting for position? He's pitting, right, okay.
Yeah, he did pit early, didn't he? So
he really
interesting
did,
to see if he got a bit of damage somewhere or you know the other one that they do quite regularly? Start the race for qualifying fuel.
I'd love to say that I've never done that, but I can't.
Yes, that could be a distinct possibility.
I usually realise at turn 1 when I've suddenly got loads more speed than everyone else and I think, I'm doing really well here. And then I look down and go, oh no.
So that gap isn't coming down. Oh, it will now because Kip's just pitted.
I was just going to say, he's just boxed his car, he's there, look on the right there.
Yeah, let's see where he comes out. He could come out in 8th.
I think he'll be more like, looking at those times, 12th.
Yeah?
Yeah. Are we putting money on this or not?
No, ain't got none.
And no, neither have I, to be fair.
Spent it all on broadcasting.
Oh dear. So, Dirk O, is that Dirk O?
It is, and is that Ralph? Or yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's Ralph.
Ralph Cullinan.
Yeah. Ralph keeps that, doesn't he? Yeah. Oh, here we go.
The lead battle again. So we've resumed where we left off.
Yeah. And overtaken in the same place. Where is? I was going to say where's Tom Stanley? He's that close to him. I couldn't see him behind the other car. But these three aren't getting dropped by the front two. The gap's the same because the front two keep overtaking one another at the bus stop.
Yeah,
and they're getting in each other's way.
And Stuart Dick has had Tom Stanley behind him for a good majority of the race.
Yeah.
And he's, he must have been sat there thinking, well, do you know what? I got the measure of you now, mate. You can't get past me. And then Simon takes Tom. So now he's got somebody else to contend with.
Yep. And that could be as simple as the car setup, couldn't it? So if he's got a good launch out of corners compared to the other two, chances are he'll stay ahead for quite a long time.
Yeah, it's that one mistake thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's can you do another 10, 11 minutes without making a mistake? Oh,
Whoa! And there you go.
There's the mistake.
Yeah.
Sorry, Stuart.
Yeah. These three are about to find a new friend because Craig Cameron's about to pull onto the back of this group.
Yeah, he's been about half a second behind them all the way through, even before the pit stops. But he just didn't have enough just to get up to them and cause them any problems.
And are we watching Ralph Cullinan catching Carl Hardy, or are we watching? Yeah, we are, aren't we?
We are, yeah, because Carl's 4th, Ralph is 5th.
He's caught up with that car very quick. And Carl Hardy was much higher up previously. Hang on, let me check my other screen. Has he pitted? Has Carl Hardy actually pitted?
I'm just going to say yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, yes.
Right, okay. So why is he so far down?
He looks like he's got an issue.
He does. Because he's about to get done here under braking. That's teammate on teammate. That's team result, isn't it?
That is, yeah. And then behind them is Dirk O,
who's also catching Carl Hardy. So I don't know what problem he's got. Is that Jamie Jeffrey there out of shot? Yeah. Or it was. Oh, it is again.
Now you see him. No, you don't.
Yeah. It's like Spot the Ball. Do you remember that when you were a kid?
Yeah. You got to put crosses on your screen now to find the car.
Oh dear, that's funny.
So Tom Stanley is now part of the field again. Another battle for the lead.
Here we go again. Oh dear. That was a replay. Tell you what, I don't know where to look next.
No, there's been some brilliant battles, isn't there?
Yeah, it's just continuous. Oh, well, that's the replay of the...
That's the replay, yeah.
And that's what the BMW ends up with. Very hot rear tyres. And round Watkins on certain corners, you cook the fronts at the same time. Hang on a minute. That's Michael Gray.
They've caught up with Michael Gray. What happened to Michael Gray?
Whoa, well, that's part of it. He's got a dented front end.
He has, hasn't he?
Sam, do you get a camera on the front of his car?
Yeah, I've not shown in the event. I'm gonna put the...
Yeah, he's down on speed.
He really is. He's getting mullered down here.
The front of that car.
It's listing to one side as well. It's down on the right, on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
Sorry. He's wrecked his shocks. Oh, he's got no control of the front either. That's going to cost him hours. This is what I was saying. As soon as you dent these things, you need to box it and get it fixed. Otherwise, it becomes uncontrollable really quick.
Yeah, is it worth boxing now with 7 minutes of the race left?
Oh, well, no. So he's just going to have to struggle on now. These three will think that Christmas has come, and more to the point, Andrew Hopley, he'll be laughing all the way at the bank.
Yeah, so that could be a double double win for Andrew Hopley. We can't find what happened to Michael Gray because there's nothing showing up on our event viewer. But
he's obviously hit something.
Yeah.
What's the back of Andrew Hopley's car look like?
Definitely something gone on. He's going to get done by Craig Cameron next.
Yeah, he's massively down on speed and he's boxed the car.
Yeah, must have been too much.
Or just listening to me, I don't know. So we've got an overtake here now for second place nearly. Simon Field getting very racy. He's got the sniff of the second place on the podium. And he wants a piece of that. He's in a good place for an overtake. First place is only 4 seconds down the road, so if you've got the tyres, you can do it. Defensive racing here.
Very defensive, yeah.
You can't get any further right.
I think Simon came home in 3rd last week, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually. Back with the TCRs, Chris Shaw is still leading. Kevin Viamont by
15 seconds.
Yeah, like an eternity. And then Scott Malcolm is in 3rd.
That's a good run from Scott.
It is, yeah, that's pretty good. Michael Gray is dropping right down the field now. He's into the TCRs and still in pit lane, so he's got repairs to fix.
He's coming out now, I believe.
Right.
But he's coming out in 12th in class.
Kip Stevens has done remarkably well in that Porsche. He's gained 11 places since the beginning of the race, which is as many as anybody else apart from who you were mentioning a minute ago, Scott Malcolm. Who's got 12 under his belt. So, I mean, that's brilliant amount of... Ooh, dear me. There were swear words behind that, but I managed to get dear me out instead, because, you know, there might be children watching.
Yeah, an immediate apology there from Simon.
Yeah. Got the forethought to hit the F key straight away. He's not lost any time for it. Oh, he's a bit wild through there as well, though. I think he's losing his tyres now. And like you say, we've not got much left in terms of time, have we? Oh, he's hit the wall. That was a wall bang from Stewart. That's done some damage to that. I mean, Stewart's going to feel really done for here, isn't he? Because he was leading both the two in front of him not that long ago, and they've done him.
Yeah, and put a gap on him.
That's what I mean. They're stretching. So have they been sat behind him purposefully, do you think?
No, I don't think. I think these three are very, very even.
Cameraman doesn't know where to look next. Yeah, so
and these two going side by side. Sorry, Pete. Is obviously going to bring Stewart straight back into it.
Absolutely. I mean, look at that. The gap's reduced to almost nothing again straight away.
And then
Simon
you've still
was on the
got
wrong
Craig
side of him.
Cameron sort of lurking in the background there.
Yeah, double R.
So double R is up to left turn now.
Yep.
And that could be as far as he gets, barring any accidents up front.
Yeah, I think he's definitely got the raciness to get past left turn here.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be happy with 8th after his pit lane start.
Yeah, definitely. I know I would be.
And he's also got a very clean car, so which is no mean feat coming through the whole field.
True.
Although he's still got to get past left turn, so...
Yeah, that could end in tears, right?
No comment. So, BMW's in the first 5 positions. Oh, he's pushing him down the straight there.
Pretty much, yeah. He really is as well, look at that.
He is. There's nothing between them. Nothing at all.
That is brilliant. Good effort, double R. And here we go again. Tom Stanley.
So this is Tom Stanley, Simon Field battle, and they've dropped Stewart again.
Yeah.
And it's a bigger gap this time.
Yeah, you've got to really choose your place to overtake around this track, haven't you? Like you were saying before, there's not that many opportunities. So when you get them, you got to take them. Yeah,
and was it Stewart you said that scraped the wall?
No. Sorry, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's possibly got some aero damage on there and maybe lost a couple of miles an hour off the top end.
Yeah, he just hip checked the wall on the top of the S's. I mean,
yeah,
everybody's done that. and it does various amounts of damage to your car depending on how big a hit it was.
Yeah, he might just be hopeful of holding off Craig Cameron and keeping that 4th position.
I think he's the victim of being in the...
Oh, Steezy Tiger.
That was a bit of a friendly door banging, and he's let him go. He's let him go.
Yeah, no, that's good.
That's good.
That's good.
And an apology as well, verbal apology. Jamie's getting grief again from Roger Morton about his connectivity. Oh, and here we go. You're not going to go around that way. That's optimistic, isn't it, from Simon?
Yeah, I think Tom is just driving the defensive lines, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, is that Robert Venn in the background?
Robert Venn in the background, yeah, taking turn 1 wider than a wide thing.
Yeah.
That has been widened.
So Tom Stanley's going to stay as right as he can get. He's got a little bit.
Simon's got a bit of overspeed on him.
He has, but he's going to have to stick it in pretty sharp.
That's the trouble, isn't it? It just ruins your entry.
And then look who's behind him.
Yeah, I think they'll drive away from him again.
Yeah, I think his tyres are done from leading that little group for so long. It's easy to follow, isn't it? Because the car in front brakes and you match it.
And this is this final lap, Sam?
Yeah, could be.
Yeah. Have a bump. Have a bump. Have another bump.
He didn't hit him, I don't think.
Chris Shaw is in the pit.
Chris Shaw is in
the pit.
The TCR leader.
Has he short fueled?
I don't. What? That's
as in underfueled.
Maybe. Is that a thing?
Well,
if you
don't put enough in, yeah.
Yeah. In fact, why are there so many cars going grey?
So here we have Andrew Hopley takes the win in the GT4s. Tom Stanley comes home 2nd, Stuart Field 3rd, Stuart Dick 4th, Craig Cameron 5th. Kip Stevens is in there somewhere in 6th.
Yeah, it's just a bit further around the track from these two.
And Woodward is going to come home 7th, and this is the battle for 8th.
Looks like Rob Lundgren is going to keep it. Oh, that is close.
Yeah, he's got it. Yeah, well done, Rob. That was some really good defending there.
Yeah, well done, double R.
9th. So, Chris Shaw, what happened?
Only Chris can tell us, so hopefully he'll join us in the commentary booth in a bit.
So we've got Kevin Veermont
leading that field now, and he can't be far away from the end. There he is.
There he is there.
About to take the checkered flag. Do we know what team that is for Kevin?
I don't know.
No, I don't know.
Because unofficially we're sort of not running teams this season.
Yeah, so that's Pegasus Sim Racing.
Is what, sorry?
Pegasus Sim Racing.
Oh, okay.
Well done, Kevin.
Lights work then.
So Scott Malcolm come home in 2nd.
Yeah, he'll be happy about that. Chris Shaw.
Over the moon about that. Chris Shaw, be interesting to see what happened there.
But there's a bit of swearing inside that helmet.
Ralph Cullinan in 4th, Carl Hardy in 5th. Well, Pete, I don't even know where to start with that.
I'm too tired to tell you. I mean, that was exhausting.
Yeah, I don't know where to start. Honestly, don't. Chris Shaw is the story, I think.
Yeah.
You know, he had such a lead in the TCRs.
I still don't know what happened to Michael Gray. So Massive question
Yeah,
going on
that's
there.
a question. What happened to the front of his car?
What happened to his top speed? Did he leave it on the bumper of the donut in Andrew Hopley?
Yeah.
It's very stylish. Slow-mo.
Well,
Who have we got? Anybody?
not yet.
No.
So, yeah,
Rude.
race 2, and what a race!
Yeah. I mean,
It's so hard to sum up. Start with the GT4. So, another win for Andrew Hopley. So that's 2 on the trot. However, he was chased all the way by Michael Gray until right near the end, where something happened to Michael that we don't know. And that battle would have gone on probably to whoever was second going into the last lap would have won.
yep.
And then behind them, we had the Stanley Field Dick Cameron battle, which went on for the whole race, including the pit stop. We had Kip Stevens starting, I think it was something like second last, but finished in 6th place as the top Porsche driver. Then Ant Woodward, who made up 8 places, so had a solid race. Then we see the nice battle at the end there with Rob Lundgren and Double R, which was really good. And that's just the GT4s. Then we've got the TCR class. So Chris Shaw running away with it. And then something happened at the end. We're not sure what, but I'm sure we'll find out. Gifting the win to Kevin Veermont. Scott Malcolm, after his horrendous round last week, will be over the moon. And you can tell he's over the moon because he's waiting for an interview. So that'll be good. And I'll let you interview him, Pete, because I can't understand Scott. I'm sorry, Scott.
Well, neither can I. It's a foreign country.
And what else did we talk about? So, Double R managed to get up to 9th in the GT4s. We've got the result clothing battle, Carl Hardy and David Ayres. So Carl Hardy gets it back to 1-1. Shall we talk to some drivers?
I think we should.
Shall we talk first to Andrew? I only do the British track, so I'm not going to do very well at Watkins Hopley.
Yeah, why not?
He's all yours. Andrew, welcome to the booth.
Good evening.
Good evening. So, you managed to get your victory again, despite the attentions of Michael. How do you feel about
that? I don't know. It's obviously nice to win, but it's a shame to see Michael come out of the race like that. It was a good battle.
Believe it or not, we don't even know what happened. So you're going to tell us. So how did he end up with a dented front and no top speed?
Yeah, he just coming out of the second to last hairpin before you head into the last sector.
Yeah.
Just got a tyre on the grass on the outside and it just rotated into the barrier there.
Right. I thought he'd left all his top speed on the rear of your car, and we just hadn't seen it. So okay, so that was a ding-dong battle that you had with Michael all the way through the race until about, what, 3 or 4 laps to go?
Yeah, pretty much. It was, what half a second between us or less for the full 50 minutes, really.
Yeah, and Clyde noticed that after the first couple of exchanges going into the bus stop, you both started to kind of trust one another. So the overtakes became smoother when they did actually happen. And are you finding you're getting more familiar with the people that you're racing with now, given that you've had a couple of races now?
I think Michael's definitely got an idea of what kind of driver I am, and vice versa. I think with it being an hour's race, as much as look, first thing that was going through my mind was, well, can I stay with him, because his qualifying time was brilliant. I could have gone a little bit quicker in qualifying, but I certainly don't think I would have got into the 55s. So my first sort of protocol was, well, can I stay with him? Once I'd sort of realised that the draft was allowing me to stay with him, then the second thing that goes in your head is right, well, it's an hour's race. Let's try and pull away from these boys behind. So first time I caught him going up to the bus stop there, he went defensive. So I just tried to make it clear to him, look, I'm not going to battle you at any time soon. And then later on into the race, he had the opportunity to get me on the inside at the bus stop, and I just left the door open, just basically saying, look, let's not mess around. And then I think sort of later on, the last sort of 15 minutes that we were on track together, it was a case of just trying to force an error, really. So those half attempts up the outside into the bus stop and then backing out was literally just to take his mind off his rhythm, really. And unfortunately it happened for him. It's gutting, really. I didn't see it coming. It could have quite easily happened to me, to be honest with you. The tyres are on edge that much. So yeah, definitely drove a great race with Michael tonight. Deserved to win.
Yeah, and I don't think he saw it coming either. Otherwise he wouldn't have crashed. So what was I going to ask you then? I can't remember. Oh yeah, see, last time you said you only race on the British tracks and you only do well on them. Just to inform you, this one's in the state of New York, so I think you need to rethink your previous statements.
Yeah, I'm
do
not
you
saying
like Watkins generally.
Watkins, I don't do too bad around Watkins. I don't think. I'm definitely not the quickest. It's just been a while. I'm not saying I haven't raced here. Like, I'd be talking out my backside if I said that, but it's just been a while. I've been running the TCR for probably over 6 months and just focusing on a European series. So any sort of international circuits that we've been at as a team has been done through special events, really. So it's not somewhere that I've been regular.
Well, when you get good at talking through your backside, Andrew, you can join us in the booth, because that's what we do for an hour.
Yeah. So congratulations on your second victory. Have you got anybody you'd like to thank at this point?
Yeah, Michael for a great race again, superb, and you guys in the booth and the Miracle lads.
Cracking. Thank you very much, Andrew Hopley. You can flush him now, Clyde.
I'll flush. I'm a flusher.
See you, lad.
He's flushed.
Mid-sentence.
Okay,
Awesome.
let's get Scott Malcolm in.
Okay.
And he is all yours.
Is he? Right, okay. Good evening, Scott. Welcome to the booth. This is a family show. Please don't swear.
Hope you've got the subtitle machine working.
Yeah. So, third place, you thought, with a few laps to go, didn't you? You thought I'll be happy with third place, didn't you? And then you finished in second. So, congratulations on your second place. Thank
you. Well, I was over the moon to be what I thought would be finishing third. I just went past the pit exit, and there was Chris behind me, and I was like, what's happened there? What's going on? But I just had enough pace to keep him behind me.
Yeah, I mean, because we're such terrible commentators, right? We didn't know why Michael Gray didn't finish in either first or second in the GT4s, and we also don't know really why Chris Shaw pitted. Any ideas?
Only thing I can think of is maybe a bit short in the fuel. Maybe either splash.
That was Clyde's guess, and I don't like agreeing with Clyde, so we've got to think of another thing. So yeah, you had some close racing all the way through, really, didn't you? It was hard to get some time to rest. Sometimes resting's good round a lap, isn't it? And you got none of that. It was busy all the time, wasn't it?
I just kind of followed Carroll around for quite a few laps, and then I think he realised that I had a lighter car than him. Not to do with his weight, I think it was the weight of his car with the fuel. So he just said to me, just go, on you go. So I just went, and I managed to get a good couple of seconds ahead of him. And obviously I pitted earlier than him. And it just seemed to work out fine.
Yeah. Do you take tyres on your pit stop?
No.
No. Yeah, I didn't think
No.
the TCRs would. I thought the GT4s might, but probably nobody did. Well, congratulations on your second place. Have you got anybody you'd like to thank?
Well, I'd just like to thank you guys for putting on this series. The commentary, you'll get better at the commentary. It'll come as the weeks come on. And obviously
Flush
Team
him.
Mad.
Flush him.
Yeah, get rid of him.
Team Mad for helping me with this car, and also the Result Clothing guys for the crack through the week as we're practicing.
Right. Congratulations on your second place. Thanks for your commendation about our commentating. Flush him, Clyde.
Flushed. Right. Just remember, we never have Scott in the booth again.
Yeah, ever.
Right. I'll have a chat with Ant Woodward. He had a quiet race. Ant Woodward, welcome to the booth.
Thank you.
No, thank you. You had from what we saw, a fairly quiet race, but made up a lot of positions. When you get a chance to look at the broadcast back, make sure you've got the chat on, because you do get some interesting comments from your team manager.
Oh, I can imagine after last week, I nearly got the sack.
But yeah, to us it looked like you had a quiet race, and there's never really a quiet race. You must have had some action somewhere. So, but you look like you enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was fun. A bit of strategy as well in there, I suppose. Had a good battle with Rob Lundgren. It was a bit out of it off the top, but it's a good result there. Top 10.
Yeah, you got to be happy with that. And Silverstone GP next week, so the new Silverstone. I was just going to say, what do you think of that? But I think we know the answer to that.
I'm too used to the old Silverstone still. I keep thinking I'm on the other side of the track.
Yeah, I must admit, I get lost with the start-finish straight on the new one. I think I've passed the start-finish straight, and I haven't, because I'm used to the old one. And if I'm brutally honest, I find Silverstone quite boring. But I think it's going to be good with these cars.
Yeah, I think so. And Silverstone does kind of suit me the way it is, but yeah, I don't know about the new one. We'll have to see. I've driven it before in V8s, right? I think.
Yeah, we did do it last season, I believe. So
yeah, so I've kind of learned it, but I'll have to refresh my memory and see how we go. Try and get a bit higher up the front, maybe top 5. That'd be nice.
Yeah, or just not crashing is nice. So well done on that.
Little steps, isn't it?
Baby steps, as they say.
Yeah.
So. And well done on your finish there, mate, and for not crashing. Anyone you'd like to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, the team for not sacking me last week. Never Quit Racing, Tony and Chris. Congratulations to Chris and Mary on their new arrival. So SimAbility, team sponsors. My daughter Evie May is here right next to me.
Hello, Evie.
Your top fan, Stacey, the girlfriend. And you guys are knocking it out of the park.
Excellent. Right, so we'll definitely have Ant back again.
Bring him back.
Scott is banned, but we'll have Ant again.
Yeah. No, I'm loving it. I mean, talk about unexpected. I never thought that you guys would be any good. I'll be honest, but
anything.
Really knocking it out the park.
He's working his way down and then back up again. It
started as a compliment, didn't it? But then there's a little bit thrown in there, so thanks for them comments, Ant. That's obviously appreciated. So we'll let you go, and we will see you. Will we see you Friday for the official V8 race?
Oh yes.
Excellent stuff.
Okie dokie. We'll see you then Friday, Ant. Thanks for joining us in the booth.
Thanks very much, boys. Keep it up.
There you go. Flushed him gently.
Yeah, guess who's next?
Yeah, I'll let you speak to Double R, because I think you might have a lot to say.
Yep. Double R, welcome to the booth.
Hi guys. Hi guys.
Don't forget it's a family show. Please do not swear.
Yeah.
So you started from pit lane after the stewards reviewed the footage from last time and give you a pit lane start. But look where you finished, 9th place. You picked up a huge amount of positions. You've done the entire TCR field, and then almost half of the GT4s. You must feel very, very accomplished with that.
Yeah, I was really happy about the race. It was very difficult to start from the pit lane behind the TCR, but it's a race, and I have a lot of fun in the car for do a comeback, and I have an aggressive strategy for comeback with the GT4, but not a good result for the championship, but it's like that. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, points are points, right? It doesn't matter. It's better than getting none.
Yeah.
And you had a real battle right at the very end with Rob Lundgren.
Yeah, I do a little mistakes during the break phase, and it's for that I retake the place for him.
Yeah, we saw that, and we commented that was great sportsmanship, good racing.
Yeah,
that was excellent.
I'm scary about another penalty.
At least the penalty system works, Clyde.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
You must have had some brilliant experience getting through that TCR field, and particularly getting through the back end of the GT4 field. Are you going to come back next time and be vying for the top spot?
Yeah, I hope in the next week I can join the top 5 of the GT4, and I do a lot of practice for him during the week.
Yeah, do you like Silverstone?
Yeah, it's a good track, but I don't test with the GT4, so.
Did you do the GT4 last season?
No, I do TCR last season and Rallycross.
Yeah, because they did the old Silverstone last season, didn't they? And it's new Silverstone this season. Yeah. So different ball game entirely for the next week's worth of racing. So have you got
a problem?
Yeah. Have you got anybody you'd like to thank at this point? Because you did phenomenally well. You overtook an enormous amount of people. So who would you like to thank?
Yeah, I would like to thank my team, Mika Esport, and Nuage and Kinos Pro, who support me, my family, and my teammate Kevin, who won in TCR, but he can't speak because he have a problem with her mic. So I think about.
All right, that's a shame. So congratulations on your 9th place. Good points there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Double R.
Yeah, thanks to you for the race and the organization, and see you next week.
So that was Double R fighting his way through the field. Well, I think we've summed up the race, Pete. It had everything in it. It had battles, it had disappointments. We've now got a double winner, so the bar has been set in the GT4 field. On to Silverstone we go, and we do it all again next Wednesday.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the league, I shouldn't say our little league, the point system in what we're doing here looks like after this one. Kevin Viemont obviously has got a win now as well. What does that do to the points? Where's Mr. Ferrari? Is he coming back? Are either of them two actually leading the points, or is somebody who's finished quite high in both races now taking the lead? It'll be interesting to see all of those, the effect of all of those things. And if this carries on for the rest of this is it 13-week season we've got going?
13 weeks, yeah.
13 weeks, half a year. No, a quarter a year. I can't count. I'm going to be knackered.
Yeah, I think we both will, mate. So,
especially if Uncle Bill keeps having weeks off.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just piling the pressure on us. But yeah, so yeah, from me, I thought that was absolutely brilliant. I think we're seeing such a high standard of racing. It was very good to see drivers who did make the odd mistake tonight, slow down, give the place back. Sorries, things like that. That always goes well, if there's a protest and the stewards look at it. So, yeah, absolutely fantastic again. We are back on Friday with the official V8 Supercar European Strength of Field race. I'm so professional, I haven't even looked at where it's from. So that'll be a surprise to me as well as everybody else. And then we are back, same time, same place next week for round 3 of this series. From the new Silverstone. I say new Silverstone. It's new to iRacing, but it's not new because iRacing just made it very slowly. But yeah, we're at the new Silverstone GP circuit next week. So that's about it from me. I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Sam for doing his magic in the background. Pete for joining me in the booth. The drivers, obviously, they make the series. And thank you very much. And good night from me.
And good night from me.
And good night from me. Thanks for watching, guys.